Hello fellow fraggers, my name is Frag himself, and this video is the first part of a series of 5 videos in which I will be putting all of the cards in Frag in different tier lists to show you guys which ones are the best at different things. I will be ranking by, first of all, defensive AI, which is this video. The next video is going to be about attack AI. The next two ones are going to be about which cards are the best ones when you play them. And the final video is going to be about how to build a good deck using the cards that I put in top spots in the past tier lists. So, first of all, what is a tier list? For those of you who don't know, tier list is a way to, in this case, rank cards by how good they are. So how does it work? Well, S tier it's pretty simple. S tier is always going to be the best ones, and D tier is worst ones. And of course, A tier is going to be pretty good, B right in the middle, and C tier is going to be pretty bad. I'm going to be ranking all of these cards by how good they are with the AI and how well they can defend the bunkers and bring value to your deck. Now, you can of course skip right to the end of the video to know which cards are going to be better than others. But I strongly recommend you watching all of the video to understand how I rank those cards. So as you can see, the cards I chose today were all of the defense and camp cards in the game. So for the ranking in this video, I'm going to split all of these cards in subcategories to help you guys understand a little bit better how I rank them. I will also be showing footage of me playing those cards for the video to be a little less boring. So keep in mind, I'm not ranking those cards on how good they are played, but how good they are with the AI. Enough talking now, let's just get into the ranking. Snipers are usually not that good in Frag. So first of all, we're going to be ranking Longshot and Vlad. Those two cards are very similar. So those two cards have both very long range, low HP, and Longshot doesn't have an ultimate ability, and Vlad is just useless, and the AI doesn't even use it. So that's that. And they are pretty useless as defenders, doing very bad damage in the close range. What's the difference between the two? Well, of course Vlad is going to have a little bit of healing with his sniper, but it's not really that useful, and it's going to shoot a little bit faster with less damage. But all around, these cards do pretty much the same job. They're very bad at it, so that's why I'm going to both put them in D tier. Even though, you know, we all love Longshot, Lusty Longshot. He's very handsome man, but we gotta do it to him. So let's keep going. Now let's go to Captain Polar. He of course has very long range and low HP with pretty bad speed and low damage in the close range. However, he does have a very good ultimate ability with the AI, which shoots very fast frost laser across the field, which is going to make enemies slower and of course easier to hit for the sniper. He can do damage more reliably than Longshot or Vlad. So that's why I put Captain Polar high C tier. Now, Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye is probably the best sniper in the close range for the AI. And the reason for that is he has splash damage. It's not great, but it's something. And his damage is actually pretty good. However, the projectile is very slow, so that's why even though he has a sniper AI, he usually doesn't hit as much, and of course has all the characteristics of a sniper, which is low HP and low speed. I'm going to put him in C tier. Virus is definitely a better defender than all the other snipers, and the reason for that is first of all, she's faster, so she can go from one side of the field to the other very quickly. She also has a freeze ultimate ability, and she does actually pretty decent damage. However, her range is not as long as the other snipers, so she's not that good. So that's why I'm going to put her as at a C tier as well. Now let's go to Polka Hunter. Polka Hunter is the only defense sniper, so that may be good in some instances because she can actually do damage across the field while being good at defending the base. However, she does have a very low HP and is not that great in the close range, so she's one of the easiest characters to frag. I have to put her in CT as well. Inferno now. Inferno is actually a objectively better version of Longshot. He has more damage, of course. His projectile is bigger, so it's actually easier to hit for the AI. And his ultimate ability is very, very good. So what he can do is spawn, is copy essentially an enemy and spawn a new defender or a new card on the field for a small period of time. And usually the AI of the other team is going to try to kill that card, and that's going to slow down the push while he can defend a little more. So yeah, Inferno is going to be a B tier. Now let's talk about the last sniper, which is Megalodon. Megalodon is probably a little bit better than Inferno, and here's why. So first of all, his main fire deals knockback, so that is going to slow down pushes, of course, and he can actually deal more damage than any other sniper here because of his recent buff, well, pretty recent, that gave him a 50% increase in main fire damage. So yeah, he can do a lot of it. Okay, so maybe you noticed that I left out a card that you could think of as a sniper, and that is Sogeki-chan. Why do I not think she's a sniper? Well, first of all, that's not how she is used. So a sniper is going to deal damage in sniper range. However, most of Sogeki's damage is done in the middle to long ranges. She can do a lot of damage at once and almost break a push with the kind of damage she does. She's going to launch an airstrike in the air, and it's going to come down on all of the cards that are in her field of view almost at mid-range to long range. And if you can protect her, she is going to be very good value to your deck. So that's why she is in S tier and why I don't consider her a sniper altogether. Next card on our list is going to be Gigagoo. I think he's very good. So he's good because first of all, he's very tanky, so it's going to take a long time for you to hit him. Also, when you get close to him, or if he gets close to you, he's going to explode in your face, and this is going to be a lot of damage. So if you don't know how to avoid it, you're usually gonna get one-shotted. So that's why I think he's very good. Alright, next one is going to be Slimer. Slimer is usually considered to be a pretty bad character. So the only reason why I don't put him in D tier is because he is pretty tanky. Doesn't look like it, but he does have a lot of thickness under that hazmat suit. But of course his main fire is pretty damn bad. He usually doesn't hit it, and his ult is frankly useless. He just spawns a cube that doesn't do much. It's just there. So yeah, that's why I put him in low D tier, C tier. Now let's talk about Baron Voodoo. His ultimate ability is pretty decent when you know how to use it, but his AI doesn't. As a defender, you can just ignore him most of the time. He doesn't do a lot of damage, he's not that fast, he's pretty easy to frag. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna put him in a safe C tier. OK is a very bad card. He spawns a turret that heals cards that are close to him, but usually the cards don't even stay near the healing ground, so it's pretty much useless. His main fire is also very bad with the AI. So how it works is that the longer he hits you with his laser, the more damage you take. However, OK's AI really can't keep his laser on opponents very long. So that makes his damage very low. Yeah, that's why I put him in D tier. Alright, next one on our list is Scrapper. So Scrapper is a very interesting card. He's the only one that can heal a tower or a bunker. And recently he got a new buff that I liked a lot. A lot of good players realized that he was very useful card and one that can be actually very broken. His AI works very well with his ultimate ability, and he's a decent defender now that they buffed him. So yeah, that's why I actually think he's high A tier, if not S tier in some cases. But yeah, I'm gonna put him in A tier for less controversy. Let's talk about Jab. Jab is a pretty interesting character. You know, he has his shield, which can protect him. However, his AI doesn't know how to use his shield. You can just go around him. You can get rid of him pretty quick because he has low HP. And of course, he can deal a lot of damage when he's close to you. But the AI really doesn't seem to understand that. He usually deals pretty low damage because he's far away from you. So yeah, that's why I put him in mid C tier. Jack El Padre. I think he's very similar to Jab. He does deal less damage from far away. However, his ultimate ability is much better with the AI. He can throw a Molotov cocktail at an opponent, which can deal pretty decent damage. Now, let's talk about Frank. The fact that he's so slow makes him pretty useless as a defender. However, he's very tanky. Yeah, C tier. Dr. Frost is he's always been a pretty decent defender. He has a shotgun, but he can fire from longer distances and do more damage. He also has slowness, which is very good with the AI because it can slow down a push very well. That's why he's better than, say, Jack El Padre. He can slow people down, he's more tanky, and he has better range. That's why I put him in actually A tier. Okay, now let's talk about a very similar character in my opinion, which is Prisoner 99. He has a very good ultimate ability, which is a saw that can bounce off walls and do a lot of damage when he hits it. He does deal a lot of damage when he gets to you. And he's also tanky, so that's why I think he's very similar to Dr. Frost. First of all, DJ Equalizer. He is very known for his stun ability. With his ult, he can throw a disco ball which freezes enemies that are close to it. He's pretty accurate with this ability, but his main fire not so much. I'm gonna be putting him in B tier. Duncan. Duncan is a very popular character, and he's a pretty decent camp guard with AI. He usually does a lot of damage, and his main fire is very good with the AI. I usually get completely destroyed by the Duncan AI from the other team without even realizing it. Now, let's talk about the best stun character, which is Bobbler. I think Bobbler is very good. First of all, his main fire slows enemies down like Frost does. And it's got longer range and more damage at longer ranges. He also has a bubble that can trap and keep an enemy out of the game for 10 seconds. So, But Mama is a pretty respectable card. She's really not that great with her main fire, but her ultimate ability is very good for a defense card. She can spawn every, I think, 20 seconds a bot that can act as another defense card. Of course, the bots are not that great, but they have a decent amount of HP. B tier is probably where she is. Sombrero is pretty unique card introduced who was introduced pretty recently. So what he can do is spawn bombs when a character dies during a short period of time, and those bombs are gonna race to the bunker and deal damage to the bunker. So those bombs usually distracts opponents, opponents AI, and players sometimes, and that can give you some time to push or build back your defense. For that reason, I think he's A tier, probably better than Scrapper. Mimi is a pretty unique card in her own way. She doesn't do that much damage. Her AI is really not that smart, but the wall can be annoying, and when she places it at a bad place, your push can just completely fall apart. She's probably B tier for me. And Medusa. Medusa is very interesting to play against her AI. First of all, she's very small, so she's pretty hard to hit, but her low HP would make her pretty easy to frag. However, her shield is pretty annoying when you play against her. As much as a player, Medusa's AI can know when to use her shield to avoid dying as much as possible, and you have to wait to get rid of her, and she does pretty decent damage at your attack cards. So A tier above Duncan. Alright, so now let's talk about the actually good defenders in this list, which are Queen Unicorn and the boss. There's a reason for why they are so good, and that's because they can sometimes single-handedly completely destroy a push. So both of these cards can cover a certain area with a lot of damage. So for Queen Unicorn, she can throw a unicorn at an opponent, which is gonna create a bubble around him, and it's gonna slow him down. While the boss spawns a triangle in front of him, where there's a lot of damage going on there. So I think usually Queen Unicorn is actually better to get rid of players that are attacking your base, while the boss is better at getting rid of the AI because they don't move as much, so it's actually easier for him to hit them with his ult. But I actually think Queen Unicorn is better because, first of all, her frag power gives her a better buff than the boss, and she also has more splash damage, so she's more consistent as a defense card. I think Queen Unicorn is the best defender in the game, but she is very close to the boss. Cleo. Cleo is a very normal card, I think. She's pretty agile when played, but her AI doesn't know how to use her ult. Decent damage, but she doesn't really hit it with the AI, and she's easy to get rid of. So that's why I'm gonna put her in C tier, high C tier probably. Alright, next in line is Genghis. Genghis can do a lot of damage usually, but he's not really that consistent. So that's why I put him in B tier probably. JB, when you're trying to get rid of the JB, he usually throws his grenade at you. That grenade can do a lot of damage, and when the bunker is not getting attacked, he usually just throws mines at random places, and when enemies walk on those mines, they get inflicted damage. So this is why I think JB is an A tier. We got Soldertron. First of all, as a defense card, he's actually decent. He's got splash damage and a long range with high damage, so he can actually get rid of cards sometimes that are attacking your base, but that's not why you would use him. He has an amazing ult. He can launch an airstrike that is going to come down on enemies at random places on the map, and he hits those very consistently with a lot of damage. That's why I'm putting him in A tier. And now we are with the last card, Shinobi. First of all, he's a stealth genius. Of course, when he teleports to the other side of the field, he usually just jumps into the mouth of the wolf and gets a lot of damage on him. If you're playing against a very campy deck, he can be good. And usually he's decent, he can get a lot of kills. So that's why I'm gonna put him in E tier. So, this is the end result. If you haven't already, just write a comment if you disagree with me. Look at the comments if you want to get more opinions. I hope I see you in the next video, which is going to be about how the AI, how good the attacking AI works. Which cards are going to be the better ones. And if you don't want to miss it, just subscribe. See you guys. Bread.